The Lakers beat the Grizzlies 121-118 last night, giving the team its first win of the season. Carmelo Anthony led the purple and gold with 28 points off the bench, while LeBron only scored at 19 despite playing a game-high 40 minutes. So, Shannon, what was the biggest reason they won this one?
I think Melo came in and gave them the last two games. Skip, the benches got outplayed. They got outplayed opening night by the Golden State Warriors. They got outplayed by the Phoenix Suns. And so last night, Melo stepped up. And we know what Melo's capable of having these type of games. I remember Melo, prime Melo at the Nuggets, Melo at the Knicks. And he has this ability. And that's why Skip, he is a member of the 75th anniversary team.
He is.
That means Carmelo Anthony is one of the 75 best players to ever suit up in the NBA. Mm-hmm. That's what that means. So, and it could not have come at a better time because they were struggling again.
Well, obviously, he goes up to 9th on the all-time list, which I'd lost sight of.
Yeah, that just goes to show you how a scorer that he is. And that's what he was, Skip. He was an elite-level scorer, could put the ball in the basket as good as anybody in his era. Mm-hmm. And so, for me, they needed that last night. 28 points, 12 in the fourth quarter, Skip. Yep. And he couldn't miss. Mm-hmm. I mean, those big threes, they started the fourth quarter down by 3.
Yep.
LeBron got a couple of threes. I think he scored 8 points, had 4 assists in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
But Melo's 12 was huge. He played unbelievable. The big three is still figuring out. And, people, the Lakers, okay, Skip, it's like these roads in L.A., work in progress, under construction, men at work, TBD. So, Skip, it's going to take a while. Russ had 9 turnovers last night. He's a turnover machine.
9 turnovers.
He plays, Skip. A lot of time, he plays so out of control. If there's a 1-on-4, it's okay to pull it out, but that's not how he thinks. That's not how he's wired. I'm going over this wall. Whether you open the door or not, I'm going over it.
I told you, bull in China shop.
And so for me, Skip, you know what? Melo, that was the reason why we won the ball game. Because they had no answer for Ja Morant. And I told you. That way you do the first pick in the draft and the second pick in the draft. I say, Skip, don't sleep on this kid.
Well, I love Ja.
Yeah.
Love him.
Yeah.
I was touting him before you started touting him. Then you said he was better than Zion, and I said, he's like, I don't know what Ja is, 6'1"-ish? Maybe 6 foot-ish.
But he can leap out of...
He can jump out of the gym.
Yeah.
But Zion is a force of nature if force can stay healthy, and that's highly debatable.
And that was my concern.
Okay.
Like, Skip, I mean, a man
even now there are reports he's 300 plus and he's got issues.
Yes.
Okay, I got it. He's also got issues in his front office, and that's a problem that Ja does not have. This is Ja's team. It was his show.
Yep.
And out here in Hollywood last night, he literally rose to the occasion. He was spectacular.
Except for one play.
One play.
He missed a free throw, Skip, that would have gave him...
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the pass that he missed. Because with 2:11 left in the game...
You're talking about Steven Adams.
Well, he just... Could we see that real quick? Because this is for Memphis, to me, this was the play of the night with 2 minutes left. And here's AD, misses, and Ja's got it, and it's a breakaway. And Steven Adams, how can you miss that? Because it's just throw it, just roll it to him, right? Because if you do that, it cuts it to 3, and it felt like all the momentum had swung completely to the visitors at that point. And I just couldn't even believe, after all the greatness on display, you could miss that.
And he had that free throw skill with 1.9. That gave him 41 and probably going to overtime, and who knows what happens in overtime.
He has not been a great free throw shooter, but clearly...
He shot well last night.
And what's that?
I said he shot well last night.
Well, he shot it great because he's 9 out of 10 at that point. He wound up 9 of 11. Right. But he worked his tail off in the offseason on his free throws and his three-point because his threes kept Memphis in the game, to me, at various points, because he's just stroking it. It's just a set shot, but it's sweet.
Right. He was 5 of 7 from the three ball. He was efficient last night, 13 of 21 from the field. He had 10 assists, but it was Melo, Skip. Melo was sensational.
I'm going to give you this. I have never seen anybody any more ready to shoot this side of a Clint Eastwood movie. He just he's just frantic, frenetic, I'm good. As soon as the ball touches his hands, it's just he's going to do this with it. Like I got to go as fast as I go. I got to go as fast as I go. And it's just but it's free flowing because he's shooting it with such confidence and conviction. I haven't seen this Melo maybe since Denver.
Yeah,
no,
this thing was pure last night, Skip. He was letting it was arc. I'm like, Melo, you should. It is swishing. Nothing but the bottom of the net.
And I'm going to remind everybody, he is 6 months older than your man, LeBron James.
Yes.
So this is also his year 19,
yes.
and he is revitalized. And I made the case on Friday on the show. Remember, you're missing Kendrick Nunn and Wayne Ellington and THT and Trevor Ariza. And when they all get healthy, I was worried that Melo might fall out of the rotation. Well, he's going to shoot his way into it right now, right?
Yes.
Because he's going to keep all those guys on the bench, right?
Well, I just think the thing is, Skip, is like, look, like you said, he's an efficient scorer. So we know, and he has the ability to get hot like this now. We've seen Melo score 62, have a chance to 70, and he takes himself out of the ball game. He's like, no, I'm good. And then, so we know he can score.
Okay, to your point, I don't know if I've ever seen this box. I'm sure it's happened before. But would you believe that all the Lakers starters were minus and plus minus?
I saw that.
They were all minus.
I saw that.
And every Memphis starter was plus. But every Memphis bench player was minus, and every L.A. Laker bench player was plus.
Yep.
And Carmelo was plus 19, and Monk was plus 19, and Austin Reeves was plus 18. He's become the new Caruso, right?
Yes.
LeBron took him under his wing and said, you come here with me, and we're going to do this, and here we go.
He is skilled because guess what? A lot of times LeBron and he was in the pick and roll.
I agree.
And LeBron found him a couple of times, cut into the basket.
That was a sweet pass. That was
found
smart.
him again, and then he dribbled and found Melo in the corner.
Still the best passer in basketball is LeBron James. I'm going to say it again. But what did I see last night? What was my biggest takeaway from the night? I believe the torch got passed last night because I was shocked that Russell Westbrook had the ball in his hands by far the most. If you just do usage rate for the night, he was at 28.9%. So let's say 29% of the time. Next on the list was Carmelo. Next on the list was Anthony Davis. And fourth on the list was the guy who should be the Lakers' point guard, LeBron James. Fourth on the list. And down the stretch over the last 2 minutes and 50 seconds, as Memphis won, they outscored you 12-8 down the stretch.
Right.
What happened? There was no LeBron in sight. He got the ball late in one clock and had a fall away at the clock that he just had to take. He had to just sort of throw it up there, and it missed. That was the only time he was even involved in the last 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. Well, could we please see what was happening with the new Lakers point guard, because he was bull in China shop. He was completely out of control down the stretch, and so there's the first turnover by Russell Westbrook, and LeBron threw it out of bounds. And then here he goes again, and he tries some weird left-handed shot.
I'm like, what was that?
And it misses everything, and Melo's Johnny on the spot and put it in. It was a huge play. And then he gets the ball back, and he can't hold on, and he turned it over again, and he's shaking his head. So he had 2 huge turnovers and a wild miss that did not bite you.
Right.
Okay?
But I think the thing is, Skip, is that LeBron says, okay, the first 2 games I had the ball, and Russell wasn't himself. So let's put the ball in his hands, and let's see what happens. Let's give him an opportunity so he can have the ball in his hand late in the ball game. But I'm surprised. I didn't even know that Melo and AD had a higher usage rate than LeBron.
They did.
This is not a recipe for success.
It is not. So Russell Westbrook plays 37 minutes, and this is just predictable. He shoots 5 of 15, 1 of 4 from 3. What else is new? He's the worst superstar jump shooter I've ever seen, this league has ever seen, and he gives you 9 turnovers. Well, he did give you 13 assists, which
you can live with it. You can like that.
Back on course, right?
You would like to have it 2-1, Skip.
Okay.
You would like to have 2 assists to 1 turnover.
Okay, but look what happens in the fourth quarter as Russell Westbrook plays 8:08, 8 minutes and 8 seconds. He goes 0 for 2 in the fourth quarter, 0 points, 3 turnovers in the fourth quarter, and he got 1 assist and 1 rebound. He was supposed to bring you home, keys to the kingdom. You're the point guard. Well, you're just so lucky that you survived.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, speaking of dodging a bullet, I got to drive this home because you always ridicule me for bringing this up. But some big free throws had to be made to save this game down the stretch, right? So we got Malik Monk enters the game and ends up shooting free throws at 7.3 seconds left. Could we see what LeBron did at this moment? A key moment. This is where there's LeBron all the way down there. He just stands over there because he's saying, oh, I don't want any part of this. If you're the GOAT, if you're the best player on the planet, you go get the basketball and say, I'm going to shoot these free throws.
That's why we put
Kevin Durant goes down there and says, give me the ball.
Kevin Durant's a better free throw shooter than LeBron.
Okay.
They inserted Malik Monk for that reason.
Just for that reason alone. So LeBron just decoys. He just stands there and he does not move. And I was shocked. Go get the basketball.
No, that's what Malik Monk's in the game for.
Then the GOAT's disqualified.
No,
it's
not.
over.
No,
it's over and out. You're disqualified.
Nope.
Okay, and then here we go again. So Jaren Jackson ends up making a couple of free throws. So now you got to do it again with about 5.6 seconds left. Here's the second one. He just stands, same place. He just stands over there and says, I don't want any part of this. I am not going to the late game free throw line because I'm not going to shoot those. He had shot 2 for the game and missed 1 of them.
Well,
right?
he's not getting a whole lot of calls. We see it's also affecting James Harden because they're not they're not giving you that bump. You jumping into somebody. Okay, they're not calling it.
But on this, if LeBron goes down there and says, give me the ball, they will immediately call the foul when the foul is taken on LeBron.
But here's the thing, Skip. I mean, LeBron hadn't shot a free throw in almost 4 quarters. So he only shot 2 free throws. So
are you the GOAT or not? Are you the best player or not? Yeah. I just can't. It boggles my mind that's the guy that everybody says, those billions of blind witnesses, is the GOAT. I'm saying, how can you be the GOAT if you run from the late game free throw line? He has run from it since he was 18 years of age because he does not